Picture a quiet Virginia suburb where the stars burn bright and the fields stretch on forever. Willow Creek, a sleepy neighborhood tucked among twisting country roads, feels like the middle of nowhere. No streetlights, no sidewalks, just gravel, woods, and a heavy silence that settles after dusk. For Emma, a kid growing up here, it's home, but also a trap. Out here, you can't get anywhere without a car, and when night falls, the darkness feels alive, like it's watching you. This is Emma's story, a tale of fear and survival that'll make you double-check your locks. Willow Creek's the kind of place where everybody knows your name. Kids ride bikes until the streetlights flicker on, parents fire up the grill on weekends, and dogs bark at passing squirrels. But it's cut off, surrounded by endless rural nowhere, and that isolation presses down like a weight. Emma was 9 in the summer of 2013, a skinny kid with sharp eyes, always a little paranoid, always scanning for trouble. She and her little brother Liam were out walking their dogs, Rusty and Max, near the main road one sticky afternoon. They were goofing off, tossing a stick back and forth, laughing over nothing, when a voice cut through the humid air. "Hey kids, come here!" A white SUV sat at the street's edge, its engine humming like a low growl. A guy leaned out the window, tall, with curly blonde hair that caught the sunlight. His smile was too wide, too forced, his hand waving them over like he knew them. Emma's stomach twisted into knots. Liam, only 7 and full of trust, took a step toward him, curious. But Emma grabbed his wrist, her grip tight. She'd heard the horror stories, kids snatched into vans, gone without a trace. Her heart was pounding, screaming at her to run. "Come on, Liam," she whispered, pulling him back toward home. She kept one eye on the SUV, watching the guy's face. When he saw them leaving, his smile dropped. He revved the engine, spun the tires, and peeled out, kicking up gravel as he vanished down the road. Back at the house, Emma spilled the story to her mom, Karen, her words tripping over each other. Karen, stirring a pot of spaghetti in the kitchen, just shrugged it off. "Probably some lost tourist needing directions, honey." But Emma wasn't convinced. That night she lay awake in her bedroom, the blonde guy's face burned into her mind, his fake smile replaying like a bad dream. Outside, the fields were quiet, but Willow Creek didn't feel safe anymore. Something about that moment stuck with her, a nagging fear she couldn't shake, like a splinter buried deep. A year later, fear came creeping back. It was Halloween 2014, Willow Creek's biggest night. Jack-o'-lanterns glowed on every porch, and kids in superhero costumes ran door to door, their bags stuffed with candy. Emma, 10 now, stayed home, passing out Snickers to giggling ghosts and witches. But by morning, the neighborhood was buzzing with a darker story. A black sedan had been spotted trailing trick-or-treaters down the street, its windows tinted so dark you couldn't see inside. Worse, it had no license plates, just blank spots where they should have been. When a dad marched up to confront it, the car gunned its engine, nearly mowing him down, then tore off into the night, swallowed by the fog. The adults were rattled. Just weeks earlier, a college student named Hannah Graham had been murdered in nearby Charlottesville. Her face was plastered on every local news channel, and the story had Willow Creek parents clutching their kids a little tighter. Emma overheard her dad, Mike, at the dinner table, his voice low and serious. "Stay away from strangers, Emma, no exceptions." She nodded, but her mind kept drifting to that sedan, its dark shape slinking through the misty streets. Was it gone for good or just hiding, waiting for another chance? 4 years passed, and Emma hit 14, still jumpy but caught up in teenage life. She'd spend hours holed up in her room playing Call of Duty with her buddies, headset on, trash-talking through late-night matches. That summer, her neighbors, the Thompsons, asked her to pet-sit their dog, Buddy, while they were on vacation. Their house sat just off the main road, a short walk from Willow Creek. Emma went 3 times a day, morning, after lunch, and at dusk, letting Buddy out to run in the yard. She stuck to the street, avoiding the woods where the trees pressed close, their branches tangling like skeletal hands in the fading light. One night, deep in a gaming marathon, Emma lost track of time. It was past 10 when she remembered Buddy still waiting for his evening walk. "Crap," she muttered, grabbing her flashlight and sprinting out the door. The night was thick, no moon, just a scattering of stars and a silence that felt too heavy. At the Thompsons' place, Buddy was fine, wagging his tail as he bounded into the grass. But as Emma locked the back door, she glanced out the window and froze. A black sedan was parked by the driveway, half hidden in the shadows, its engine off. It hadn't been there when she arrived, she was certain. Her hands trembled as she gripped her flashlight, its beam too weak to pierce the dark. The house stood alone. No neighbors for half a mile, and the Thompsons weren't back for days. Who was out there, sitting in that car? Her mind raced, conjuring images of the Halloween sedan, its blank plates, its driver a mystery. Should she call her parents? Stay put? After a minute that stretched like hours, she made a choice. The street was too open, too vulnerable. She'd cut through the woods. The brush was dense, scratching her arms, snagging her hoodie, but she pushed through, her flashlight bobbing wildly. When she stumbled into her backyard, she was out of breath, safe, but shaken to her core. She never saw that sedan again, but its shadow clung to her, a ghost that whispered of danger. By 16, Emma was a track star at Willow Creek High, lean and fast, the kind of kid who'd leave everyone in the dust. But when quarantine hit in spring 2020, school shut down and track practice was canceled. Trapped in Willow Creek, she started running the country roads instead, her sneakers pounding gravel as she weaved through fields and quiet lanes. It was her escape, her way to feel free in a world that felt smaller every day. For months it was just her, the open sky and the steady rhythm of her breath. Then one chilly afternoon she saw it, a white SUV creeping along the other side of the road. It moved slow, way too slow for these empty roads. Emma always ran against traffic, a trick her coach taught her to spot cars on blind curves. But this wasn't normal. The SUV matched her pace, its driver hidden behind dark, tinted glass. Her skin prickled, a cold sweat breaking out. Was it following her? She turned down a side street, a dead-end cul-de-sac, figuring it'd drive past. It didn't. She looped back home, telling herself it was nothing, just her paranoia acting up. But the next day it was back. She spotted it parked in a driveway, its engine kicking on as she jogged by. It trailed her for a mile, always just far enough to seem harmless. When she hit the side street, it peeled away again. This went on for 10 days straight, the SUV a constant shadow. Emma's paranoia went into overdrive. She tested it, running an hour later one day. The first time, no SUV, and she exhaled, relieved. But the next day, there it was, right behind her, like it knew her every move. She didn't tell her parents, scared they'd ban her runs and trap her inside for good. So she kept her eyes sharp, watching its every turn, her heart racing with every mile. On the 11th day, it all fell apart. Emma turned down the side street, expecting the SUV to vanish like always. But at the cul-de-sac's end sat a black sedan, still as a tomb. At first, she thought it was a neighbor's car. There were a few houses nearby. But as she got closer, she saw something under it, a shape, crouched low, tucked against the far side, trying not to be seen. Her blood turned to ice. She whipped around only to see the white SUV blocking the street's entrance, its headlights cutting through the evening mist. Emma was trapped. Her legs screamed to run, but where? The figure hadn't moved, but the SUV's door swung open. A man stepped out, tall, with curly blonde hair, his face half lit by the dusk. Emma's gut twisted. She knew that face, the same one from 7 years ago. She bolted toward the SUV, picking the danger she knew. The man ran after her, his boots pounding gravel. "Hey, just want to talk," he yelled, his voice sharp and desperate. Emma's training took over, her legs flying faster than she'd ever run. She flipped him off, fear and fury burning hot, and didn't stop till she hit her front door, slamming it behind her. She collapsed, sobbing, and told Karen everything, her words a jumbled mess. Her mom's face went pale as she dialed the cops. The police came, took Emma's statement, but without a license plate, their hands were tied. "We'll look into it," they said, and drove off into the dusk. Weeks passed and nothing, no arrests, no answers. The blonde guy was still out there somewhere, maybe watching, maybe waiting. Emma stopped running outside. Willow Creek, her childhood home, felt like a cage now, its quiet roads hiding predators in plain sight. She saw the blonde man in her dreams, his face unchanged from that summer day when she was 9. Neighbors started talking, swapping stories of strange cars at night, a missing cat, whispers of other kids who'd felt watched. Emma wondered if Willow Creek was a hunting ground, its kids easy prey for monsters who knew its roads too well. She was tougher now, ready to fight if they came back, but the fear never left, a shadow that followed her every step. Willow Creek's fields are still tonight, but out there in the dark, something's waiting. Lock your doors. You never know who's watching.